URL. If you're seeing this video on my channel, hopefully you're already familiar with my vanilla map challenge. Well, I'm not going to participate in my own contest, but I am going to try the vanilla world out at some point. And before I do that, I wanted to do a little bit of prep to get myself in the right mood. So that's what I'm going to show you here. What I decided to do is go back and pull out my original maps that I started playing Minecraft on before I had any mods on my machine. And this is when I used to play the game vanilla and mine for all my blocks and build whatever happened to come to mind. So this is my very first map. I believe I started this map in October of 2010. The spawn point's not very interesting, but here's my probably first and maybe only attempt at growing wheat just to see how it worked. And actually I've got fly on right now with single player commands, but obviously I didn't have that on when I built this. This was my first ever minecart track. I basically used booster carts, and the track literally just goes off as far as it can go, up over mountains, down mountains, and then dead ends about 2,000 blocks away. So I'm not going to bore you with that. Now this is my main compound. So I was going for some sort of a weird pillared look, I guess, using obviously moss stone that I found in dungeons with reeds as the columns, and then this little weird skull shrine that I put over here. So you can see I didn't always have tons of detail in my maps, but you know, it looked pretty artistic. This was a natural land formation. All the water and lava I added. I had a big thing for water and lava, and there's the first portal that I ever built in Minecraft. Before I go in there, I'll just show you. This was the first ever attempt at a mob trap for farming. I think I was farming arrows at the time. Tried to get in this little glass area here and then have zombies come down and die so I could collect their stuff safely. A gigantic waste of time in retrospect. So let's go inside. And actually, this used to be a wooden block with 4, I believe, stone around it, so it was an everlasting block. And then when netherrack and the portals came out, I had to go and get some actual evergreen. So let me turn fly off for a minute. As I mentioned, I had a big thing for lava and water at the time, so everything in my house has got water all over the place. I thought this was the coolest thing ever, is to build a sort of an underwater view into my lake. And this took forever because every time I tried to dig down, water would come in, and then I'd have to make glass and put it up. That was a big pain in the neck. But now I kind of look back at this and laugh. And then this was my first ever greenhouse. I thought this was so cool that I had a indoor cave with lights up above. And I just saw a picture in there, but I guess not. Down there's my mine. It's quite extensive. I'm not going to bore you with that. Chicken trap. So this was my first map. I can't even think how many hours I spent on this map before I got mods and started map making and pretty much abandoned it. This was actually one of the last things that I created. In here is the first ever redstone contraption I tried to build. I think this was after I finished my World Out of Time map. Could be wrong in that. All it is a switch that turns the redstone torches off and on. This is also when I figured out that redstone torches don't give off any light whatsoever to speak of. After I built most of my compound and got bored with the endless mining, I decided I'm just going to go off in one direction and see how far I can take it. So this path here was created, and I've got a number of sort of pillars and torches that mark the way. And I had in my mind that as I came across every new land, I would actually name it. So this was Cactus Beach. There were cactuses here. This is actually the first time I'd ever seen a cactus. There was 2 cactuses. I think I must have broke them since. And then this sort of lines me up for quite a long series of pillars that just goes off into the distance. And I used to swim this before I had a boat. And then I had a boat, but I kept getting stuck at different points, so I think I'd say most of the time I just swam this path. So this was Sandbar Landing, going north from here. Now I had no idea that this was actually west if you go by the clouds. And this is really disappointing to see. When I first created this map, there was no biome, so there was no water turning to ice, but obviously this is an ice biome here. Tundra, I think it might be. I can actually take taiga. So I used to swim this whole way. Now it is ice, and I had these. I thought these were so cool. These little inlets along here that I would pass. And at night, you could see the torches off in the distance, sort of leading me to where it was I wanted to go. Actually, I used to play this on a much less powerful computer as well, so the graphics were not quite as sharp. This was sort of the first, or I guess the second little home that I made along my path, Dockland. And this also has a little base in it. I think these were probably the first saplings I ever tried planting. I built this sort of walkway here because there were spiders all up above. I was trying to fight them off while building this without them falling on me. And again, these lead off to different mines that were kind of waypoints, and so I build further and further out. And I didn't use glowstone at this point. I pretty much just used torches to mark my path. Now the way from here, it must have been straight out this way, but for some reason I don't have a lot of light, except for like this strange glow here. From the moon? It's weird. And somewhere off in this direction I should have from here. I'm not sure which way to go. Somewhere there should have been more lights, which then led me to a little castle that I built. And at one point I had gotten all the way out to the castle and died and respawned so far away, and I just said, screw it, I'm giving up. This is a complete waste of my time. And I pretty much abandoned this map at that point. So that was my first world ever. The mines are quite extensive, the rail tracks go off everywhere, but